I'm crazy. And not just because I'm buzzing my hair right now. I'm so crazy that I made this transformation in about 2 years. I lost 120 pounds of fat and gained 30 pounds of muscle. I felt the impact of how drastically that journey transformed my entire life. Since then, a lot of you were inspired by my story. But I've run into a long series of unfortunate events and sadly lost a lot of my progress. I've been through hell and back over the last few years. Got let go from my job, broke up with my ex, moved back in with my parents, made many six figures investing, lost many six figures investing, suicidal ideation, started an Airbnb business, moving states on nearly a whim in a half-built brand new Sprinter van that I pretty much had to sell to loss. During my deep depression, I taught myself piano, built a six-figure training business from scratch within 6 months of moving, got a cat, and now I'm here on social media, ready to take you through it all. All I hope to do here now is to achieve one thing: document my trials. Document my trials, tribulations, and wins. Focus on myself and win. Win in fitness, win in business, and win with family, friends. For I am in search of greatness, and I hope to inspire you to find the same in yourself. Let me start back at the beginning of the pandemic. I was personal training one of the top divorce lawyers in Southern California, working with him at his office when I ran into an old coworker who I used to work at LA Fitness with. He showed me a $17,000 a month check, and I asked him what I'd have to do to work there. He said just stop by and ask for an interview and drop his name. So I did, and I was hired. I was living with my aunt at the time because there was no way I could afford rent on my own in California, sacrificing something necessary to work on my business. That's just a hard reality. But little did I know, I would be working pretty much 70 to 80 hours a week in an office without being able to work on my own stuff. And within about 4 months, the pandemic hit, and a lot of us were let go in early 2020. Now, I'm just depressed and still working out, but changing schedules for work and moving cities made it hard to find stability for a sustained fitness routine. That, coupled with fitness not being a priority in my life at the time because changing life circumstances pretty much caused me to go to the gym less regularly. This is about when I stopped making content on YouTube due to all this as well. So at this point, I don't have a job. I'm not making YouTube videos anymore, which was a source of income before becoming a loan officer. I broke up with my girlfriend, and I feel like a bum living with my aunt because there's a worldwide pandemic going on and I couldn't go to the gym for a while. After a few weeks of that and wondering what to do, I decided to move back in with my dad a few cities away, and we were locked inside anyway, and I didn't want to overextend my stay with my aunt, but I figured this was a good time to go all in on business again without needing a job. Now, mind you, I'm pretty damn depressed and alone at this point. I have to move counties away from everyone I knew to live with my dad. So I'm living out there and still don't know what to do. I feel like I had such a great thing going in so many different ways. I was doing so well with my YouTube channel and inspiring so many people to change their life the same way I did. I had an amazing girlfriend and a great job and worked out every day like it was my therapy, and had an amazing body that was just fading away. I barely processed any of it at the time. And yeah, by barely processed it, I mean I would avoid processing it by smoking weed all day and telling myself that I'll just be fine. Just building my online coaching business and I'll be out of here in no time. So I did. I started making YouTube videos again after many months. I started coaching people with their weight loss and used that money to make investments. During this time, I also started working with my dad's friend on an Airbnb business. I brought it up to him and he offered to use his trailer as the first unit and we could split it to get to know the Airbnb model. But there was a problem. The trailer had water damage that needed repairs, so we decided to do it ourselves. I didn't have much experience with this kind of stuff, but I figured it would be a great opportunity to learn how to. So over the next month or so, we rebuilt some of the interior and the trailer and looked for land in Joshua Tree. I decided to lease a parking spot on another Airbnb's land for a month just to test it out. It was actually going good until we had a really bad experience with a guest who couldn't find the key to get into the trailer, which was really easy to find. And we had to relocate them for the night since we were both pretty much hours away. But I learned that during that time of crisis that my business partner would not put in any effort to solve the problems that we had, so I decided to part ways with him, which was really frustrating considering I had spent a month working on that trailer to get it working. But by a stroke of absolute luck, my low 4-figure investment turned into multiple 6 figures at the same time this is happening. So Since I'm pretty upset, I decided to look for land myself. Beautiful views, probably 5 to 10 acres. And I would do this myself since I was confident it was going to work so long as I set the logistics up. But I decided to buy a Sprinter van so I could first convert it into a van life type thing and use that as my first unit, which would also be used part-time for me for living if I needed it. I was clearly just a pissed off dude with a lot of cash all of a sudden and a dream. But as I soon learned, I was hoping and expecting for my investment to stay up or go up, but it went down, and it went down hard. I was able to pull out enough to cover my van expenses, but since I didn't have much experience building and I was hemorrhaging money and things were not going well with the build, I started getting frustrated and feeling cornered again. My dad was helping me with the build, but because of everything going on, we started getting into arguments to the point where he and his wife decided to kick me out. And so, with my half-built van and everything I could fit inside, I decided to move to my mom's place. Now, at this point, I'm totally lost and I don't know what to do. Sure, I have money, but not nearly as much as I had very recently, which forced me to change everything that I was pretty much committed to as far as this project. 3 months of pure grit, 12 hours a day, 120 degrees in the summer to get to this point. I realized quickly I wouldn't be able to stay with my mom. She lived in a mobile home park and there was nothing there for me. I didn't know what I was going to do with this van and I had nowhere else to go. Still, not having processed much of anything, I have my eyes set on finishing this so I could sell it or do Airbnb somewhere else. I seriously was in a very, very bad place mentally during this time. Not being able to process and not having much of a support system, I decided almost overnight to move to Texas and figure it out there. I knew it was going to be cheaper, way cheaper, and I had a brother out there, so I'm sure I could figure something out. Especially since I had some extra cash I was sitting on. So within a few days, I packed everything that I could into the van and decided to take a road trip to Texas. I had no expectations whatsoever. I was completely embodying survival mode, taking it literally 1 hour at a time.